Hey guys, it's me, and today I'm here with a new video, and this is actually not the video that I was expecting to go up today. I'm currently working on a lookbook that will go up hopefully next week. After some shit that went down last night, story time is coming. This isn't gonna be like my previous story time videos, which I only have two of them, and if you want to see them, I'll try to remember to link them down below. But this story time is gonna be a little bit different, given the sense that it's gonna be a 3-in-1 type of deal. But all three of these stories have one thing in common. Best way that I can describe that one thing that they all have in common is bathroom nightmares. A little background information about myself. This way you guys can understand the horror of these situations of mine. I have intestinal issues. I'm not entirely sure what exactly it is that I have. I'm pretty sure I have IBS. I'm not sure though because I haven't gotten checked out for it yet. I really need to though because it's getting to the point where it's getting pretty crazy and out of hand at times. So it's just, yeah, I do need to go and see a doctor about it, but I don't know how to go about doing it though. Like, I don't know if I need to go to like a regular physician and then get a referral over to the right person or just go to the right person. I don't know. With having these intestinal problems, sometimes the food that I eat does not sit well with my insides at all. It'll take about 10 minutes to go in, and about 10 minutes later it's ready to come out. I know that's very gross, but you have to know this so that way you can understand the horror of these situations. The first story I'm going to tell you guys is a bit of a scary one, I should say. It's just like the most, like at the time before what happened last night, it was the scariest thing that happened to me and something that has traumatized me. Like, it was really, really bad. This was back in my senior year of high school, and this was around the time when I started noticing that like certain foods just weren't sitting well with me. One morning before school, I decided to have leftovers from IHOP because me and my dad, we went to IHOP the night before, and I decided for breakfast that morning I would just eat my leftovers. I'm at school and everything's all going well how they normally would. Then nearing the end of first period, which it was probably somewhere between maybe like 8:45, 9 o'clock, somewhere in there, because first period ended at 8:55, I think. It was either 8:55 or 9 o'clock, I can't remember. It was 3 years ago. In class, and all of a sudden, I started feeling the rumblies and the discomfort, and I'm just like, oh shit, please tell me that this is just gas. Please tell me that this is just gas. At the end of the period, since my next class was literally right across the hall, I would drop my stuff off and then go to the restroom. And so I went over there, and I think that restroom, either that restroom was locked or it was packed out to the point where I was like, I don't feel comfortable possibly blowing up this toilet with a bathroom full of dudes. And also I knew that it might take me a bit longer just in case if something were to happen and everything. So it's just like, yeah, I can't risk that. I get back to class and I'm trying to hold it out as much as I possibly can. Because like I said, I'm pretty sure what I have is IBS, but I'm not 100% sure. But like you just get a lot of discomfort in your like lower abdominal area. Abdominal? Is it abdominal or abdominal? I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a fucking scientist. I didn't take, I was about to say chemistry. No, it's not chemistry. Anatomy. I didn't take that shit. Because at my high school, if you took anatomy, you had to dissect a cat. Each class had at least one cat that was pregnant. And I did not want to have to deal with that shit. But I did have to deal with this shit. I think I like sat out in the classroom for like 30 minutes before I like caved and was just like, I have to go use the restroom. And here's the problem with my high school. During class times, they would only have one restroom open. And that was the restroom in the cafeteria. And the classroom that I was in was not the farthest away from the bathroom, but it was pretty damn far away from the bathroom. I asked my teacher to go use the restroom because, I mean, we weren't doing anything. I think if we were just having like a little study break thing in our class. It was a very easygoing class. It was like psychology, sociology. Like some days we would have off days in there and just like chill out and hang out and shit. So yeah, and it was one of those days for us. And so I was just like, you know what? I gotta go. This is an emergency. let's go. I make a beeline straight for the bathroom, and I get to the bathroom, and when your ass is about to explode, you're not worrying about like which stall you go into. You want to make sure that the stall that you go into is functional. When I went into the restroom, only but one of the 3 stalls in there were actually like normal. Like one of them was like clogged up with shit because boys are disgusting, and then the other one was just not looking right at all, so I didn't bother using it. So I went with the other one, and I pop in there, plant my ass down on the throne, unleash hell, and I just feel horrible because I have never taken a shit at school since I was in elementary school. That long. So I felt horrible for taking a shit. Maybe I got food poisoning or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't know who all has sat on this toilet, and I don't want to know. After I unleash hell, I'm like, okay, time to wipe my ass. Why is it that whenever you absolutely need toilet paper, there is never toilet paper? That is correct. There wasn't any toilet paper in that stall. I felt so horrible. When I noticed that there wasn't any toilet paper, I was like, no way, no. I immediately like whipped out my phone, texted my dad saying to come pick me up because I think I got a stomach bug of some sorts and I cannot be here right now. And he said, okay, I'll be there in about 30 minutes. After I sent that message, like, I felt so horrible. I felt as if I was about to cry because I wasn't going to be able to wipe my ass. I know this is TMI, but the shit was wet and it felt gross, and it's just like, oh my god, I don't have any toilet paper. And I know some of you might be thinking like, why didn't you just check the other stalls? I don't know. Probably because if I would have checked the other stalls, I would have been tempted to flush those toilets. But the problem is though, is that both of those toilets were fucked. It was a horrible situation. At the end of the period, my dad got to the school, and like as soon as like we were changing classes, like voice came over the intercom over the whole school saying that it was time for me to go home. And so I made a beeline straight for like the exit and was just like, we're going home. My dad picks me up, we go home, and I make a beeline straight for the bathroom and I unleash hell again, which is why I truly think that I got food poisoning. And it was just horrible all over again. And as I was walking out of the bathroom, my dad was just like, hey, are you gonna be okay just being here by yourself? And I said yes, and he said, okay, well, I'm gonna head on back to work. Because, I mean, it's like 10 o'clock, it's still pretty early in the work day for him, so like he can easily just go back to work. So that's what he does, and as soon as I hear the front door close and lock and hear his truck take off, I immediately strip out of my clothes, jump in the shower, take a 10-minute shower, and then I curled up in a ball, laid down on the floor of my tub, and let the shower water just beat over me as I was crying. So that's the first story. The second story took place last week. Yes, last Monday. Not this past Monday, but the Monday before. Me and my dad's usual Monday thing is that we go to KFC because KFC is bomb as fuck. But occasionally, my stomach does not like KFC at all. But, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, either you can put your insides first or you can put your taste buds first. And that day, and like most days, I put my taste buds first. My dad was taking a little bit longer to eat his food, and it hit me that I needed to unleash hell. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use their restroom, which I've used their restroom plenty of times before. They have one of the best, like, public restrooms ever in this KFC. Like, it is so clean, it's so nice, and it's wonderful. I fucking love that bathroom so much. So I go to use the restroom and I have to unleash hell. The first thing that I always do before doing so is to check to make sure that there is toilet paper. Because like I said, I'm traumatized after what happened back in high school. So it's like, if I have to take a shit in a public restroom, no matter where I'm at, I have to check to make sure that there is toilet paper before I do anything. And guess what? There wasn't any. But I absolutely had to take a shit. I had to. I absolutely had to, because it was Halloween, and me and my dad, we avoid the house for a few hours on Halloween because we don't like to deal with children on Halloween, because we don't get that many trick-or-treaters here in my neighborhood, and so it's just pointless to have to deal with them. And that's what we've been doing now for the past, I'd say, about 3 or 4 years. And since we were going to be out, I knew that I would have to use the restroom before heading out, because I wouldn't have access to a toilet for many, many hours. When I saw that there wasn't any toilet paper in this bathroom, I had to fucking improvise. So you know what I did? I got me a fucking paper towel out of the paper towel dispenser doodad thing in this bathroom. Luckily, those paper towels are thin. Like, not like super thin, but they're thin enough to, like, they're thick enough to use as toilet paper, but they're thin enough to where they'll actually go down the toilet. That's what I had to do. I had to use a paper towel to wipe my ass. I was so worried that I was gonna fuck up that toilet with doing so, but I mean, like, it's one of those situations where you gotta do what you gotta do, because if not, you're gonna wind up shitting yourself later. Here's the story that decided that this was gonna be happening today, that I was gonna be telling you guys these bathroom nightmares, because this is the biggest nightmare of all. It was probably the most traumatic thing that has ever happened to me in a public place. And it is so horrifying. Like, I don't know. I do not understand how this happened. Well, I actually do understand how this happened, but I don't understand why this happened and why I had to experience it. If you follow me on Snapchat, you have already heard about this story. I gave like a brief like clip notes version of the story, but today I'm gonna give you guys all the nitty-gritty details. I don't know how you're supposed to go about these sorts of situations, like if you experience these sorts of situations or you see these sorts of things. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to go about doing them, so it's just like, let's just take a picture and post it on Snapchat and then make a video about it the next day. Me and my dad and my sister, we went to Walmart last night because we had to go get groceries. Since yesterday was Monday, we went to KFC. And my stomach wasn't really bad. I was just feeling very, very queasy, because I've been feeling very queasy and bloated these past few days. And I also had to pee, so I'm like, I'm just gonna go and check and make sure that everything's okay. So I was just like, I'm gonna check and see if my asshole's gonna decide if it wants to scream at me or not. We're in the checkout and I'm like, alright, I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. As I'm walking in the restroom, this guy is walking out and I have him completely memorized and ingrained in my brain because of this horrifying experience. Like, I can tell you everything except for like certain like facial features, because I didn't get a good look at his face, but I did get a good look of like like his silhouette and his outfit. His face was kind of lished. All together it just makes it seem like, okay, this is like when like you find out like why I'm telling you guys this, you'll understand why that is like a crucial thing of this story. In this particular restroom of Walmart, there are 2 stalls. And like one of the stalls, the door is like broken, it's messed up, it doesn't close all the way, and the lock doesn't work because it doesn't close all the way. And it's just like, the walls are also like really close together, so you wind up getting pretty claustrophobic, or at least I do. And so it's just like very uncomfortable. It's just not good. But the other stall that's in there, which is the handicap stall, that door closes all the way, but the lock doesn't work on it. But the thing is, though, is that when you close the door, it's pretty stiff. Also, since it closes all the way, people will know that it's in use. Saw that there was no one else in there and that I was the only person in there, so that made me very happy because I didn't have to feel self-conscious about having to worry about people getting scared by the fact that Satan is screaming out of my asshole. I go to the stall, plant my ass on the throne, and that shit was warm. And I immediately was just like, oh my god, this guy was sitting on here. And then I looked over to the side where like they have like the little toilet paper thing at, and I saw some shit. Oh my god, this is so disgusting. Like, men are horrible creatures. Oh my god. There was cum on the thing. I took a picture of it and I posted it on Snapchat. If you want to see the proof, just add me on Snapchat and I'll send you the picture. Or you can ask me for the photo on like Tumblr or Instagram. All those links are down in the description box below as always. Yeah, so it was all over the top. A little bit was on the wall. I'm sitting on this toilet about to like see if Satan is going to rear his face out of my asshole, and I'm saying this, I'm like, oh no, I gotta get out of here. I have never made my insides vacate the premises as quickly as I did in that moment. Like, I didn't unleash hell, Satan didn't scream at me. It was like dropping like a 100-pound brick from a roof. It was just like immediately just like grabbed toilet paper while staying very close away from it, because it's just like I didn't want to get my face close to that shit, and I didn't want to like have to like inhale it or get it in my hair or in my face. I didn't want to do any of that shit. I was just like, no. And so I wiped my ass, got my pants up, flushed the toilet, and I ran out of that stall, washed my hands, and got out of that bathroom. My theory is as to what happened is that this guy was sitting on the throne, wanking it off, and got a little too happy and either splooged everywhere or he purposefully splooged there. And it's just, men are disgusting. Ugh, no. No. Just, ugh. I've seen weird shit in bathrooms, both literally and figuratively. Like, I've seen people who have blown up toilets and didn't flush the toilet. Back when I was in elementary school, like, I have this image ingrained in my head. Some kid shat on the floor. I'm not kidding. And it was huge. And I was thinking to myself, like, how the fuck did a kid squeeze that giant thing out of him? And still to this day, I'm baffled as to how a little kid squeezed that giant thing out of him. I've seen like crude drawings on the walls in the bathroom and everything because middle school boys are gross. But seeing that someone splooged on the wall was just disgusting. And when I saw it, I was just like, oh no, that better not be what I think it is. Yeah, needless to say, I'm never using that restroom ever again. Those are some bathroom nightmares. I'm sorry if this video is a bit long, but like I said, I had stories and I wanted to tell them. And some of them, you guys are probably going to be traumatized for life, as I sure am. So disgusting. Ugh. I understand. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and sometimes you just gotta let shit happen and let shit out. Don't get it on the wall. Don't. And if you do, clean it up. Ew. Like I said, men are disgusting. Apologies if you hear Roxy barking in the background during my outro. She decided that this was the perfect time to make her cameo. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it's enjoyable, probably isn't. Especially after that last story. So if you guys are new here to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, and also don't forget to hit that like button because it'll help me out a lot. And let me know if you want to see some more story times, because the stories that I do have to tell are pretty interesting. Until I see you guys in my next video, whatever the hell that may be. Goodbye.